It's Cardinals time.
Damn, dude. Sports smell like diabetes, man.
Hey, hey everybody! Hey everybody! It's Cardinals time. Welcome to this week's edition of Kairi's Cards Cast, the one and only Kairi's Cards Cast, your best local source for all things Cardinals, NFL related, and generally Cardinals time happens
Man,
here.
we're international.
Your best
live in
international source for all things Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Lutz wants to mess with my opening music. He doesn't like it. He's stupid though.
No, it's fine.
So
yeah, but every time I ever recommend anything, he goes, "Oh, it's my podcast."
it
We're
is my
talking about
podcast.
I wanted to make it a Patriots podcast, and he's like, "Oh, it's my podcast."
We're doing Cardinals. All right. So let's get started this week with our
Top 5.
And this week's
Top 5.
is gonna be my
Top 5.
candidates for MVP of the Cardinals at this point in the season so far, because I couldn't think of anything better this week, guys. I'm sorry I let you down.
What?
So
Why not top 5 fucking upset to the last weekend? We'll get into that later.
we'll get
Stay
there.
tuned.
There are a lot of good ones. Okay,
He
so
didn't want to talk about it because
last
it's his
last week's top 5 music was kind of like, I mean, it was awesome.
podcast. No, we discussed this. We're not discussing the music or the. You're just gonna do it, man. Just do it. Just push the button and go.
What button?
Woo!
Woo!
The music, the go button.
Okay. So, top 5
Dude.
Cardinals MVPs at this point in the season. That is to say, players that we would suck if they weren't on the field. I had a hard time numbering. I know who the players are, but it was very hard to number them. I'll just start. I put Honey Badger at 5.
Okay.
Jared Veldier at 4.
What? Okay. Okay. Go.
Chris Johnson at 3.
Okay.
Fitz at 2, of course. Fitz
Okay.
has to make my list because your Fitz is on my list.
Because it fits.
And number 1 has got to be Carson Palmer, because we've seen what happens when we don't have him. So, like it or not, you can hate me for picking the obvious one when I say the starting quarterback is the number 1 most critical part of the team, but the fact is we've tried it without him, and it doesn't go well. Drew Stanton's an awesome touchdown celebrator. I'll give him that, though.
Boy can dance. He should be dancing, yeah.
I saw him. He looked pretty amazing. So,
Can I do it again? I'm gonna do my own echo.
okay. So, that's it for the top 5. I'm sorry,
Dude,
4.
we talked about not announcing, hey guys, I've done an editing change. I mean, you don't go see a Michael Bay movie and Shia LaBeouf is just like, there's a special effect coming. It just happens, and the audience recognizes it when it does. You feel?
So, should I change the music then to indicate that we're changing segments?
You should just make an audio sample where it's just like, splice happening now.
Splice happening now. Looking back at last week. Lutz, tell us about last week.
You're actually gonna let me do this? I can talk.
No. We're talking about the Cardinals game specifically.
Oh, so that game had me all over the map emotionally. We started out strong, but then there's something going on with officiating this year in the NFL, and that's kind of like a trite comment to really make about sports in general. But I swear, man, ask anybody around the league, this year in particular, even worse than the replacement refs, it's been difficult to watch some of these games. You can take the Lions versus Seahawks game. I know I'm totally off track with the Cardinals thing right now, but the refs fucking cost the Lions the game because they simply misallocated a rule completely, dude. It wasn't a bad spot. It was they simply didn't know how to address a situation and did it completely wrong and gave the ball to the wrong team. And the referee got fined by the NFL, by the league for that. But that's just got to say something. It's who takes comfort from that?
Yeah,
you think Lions fans feel better because the ref had to pay some money to the league? I mean, dude, it makes it hard to watch. It makes it difficult to stay enthusiastic about the NFL. There's all these weird games and weird outcomes. You see all this crazy ass fucking officiating, and it just makes you wonder. Like, no wonder the league is all like spazzy this year, man. Like,
so what the hell does this have to do with the Cardinals and Seahawks game? Get to the point.
I'm just saying that watching the game, I was happy with where the Cardinals were at, but I just couldn't, like, it was difficult to stomach the types of calls that were happening in that game. And because of that, I just had this sinking feeling the whole time that, you know, the Seahawks are going to win this. They're going to end up doing their bullshit. The fucking leprechaun Wilson's going to climb out of Ciara's vagina and come and fucking duck some balls downfield. Dude, the guy needs to get a boost to see over his fucking offensive line so he can look downfield. Like, this, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. So he runs out of the pocket because it's not because he really wants to be mobile QB. He just can't see downfield unless he gets out from behind the line. Anyway, so, like, just, it started happening, you know, like the fumbles and all the bullshit, and like I was just in a horrible mood from it because I'm just
true,
like,
he was, guys. He was depressing the fuck out of me, and like I was enjoying the game up until I started talking to him.
Kairi should just post my like text like convo with him during the game. I was basically on suicide watch, but so shit. I just heard somebody walk by. It totally made me lose my train of thought. The game, yeah. So like, Mike Lou Potty came out, and that was pretty much like the freaking deal breaker. I had to make sure I said break something like, you know, not like I was gonna say like ankle breaker, but that doesn't make sense in this context. So Mike Lou Potty came out, and I was freaking done. I was like, after all those shitty calls and everything, and I'm like, this is going the Seahawks' way. They're trying to rob this game from us. Then the Upati injury happens, and I'm just like, here it is, man. This is the Cardinals season going exactly as scripted for the Cardinals. We're like over halfway through now. Everybody's super optimistic, and then something happens that just deflates us and ruins the whole goddamn thing. Because this guy is getting paid the most out of everybody in our offensive on our O-line. He's got a huge contract. Yeah, he gets paid more than Valdir.
I did not know that.
Exactly, right? And so we've never really had luck with our offensive line. And the Cardinals
not since Mike Gandy.
Levi Brown. The Cardinals don't really have a mentality like they're not like the Cowboys where they're like, we don't need a coach. We're just going to give like a couple douchebags enormous contracts and let them use their star power to figure it out on field. Yeah, so the Cardinals don't really do that. They kind of are like really like value driven and budget driven about who they're getting and trying to get good deals. So the fact that I don't know if you'd say overpaid, you know, but like Mike Upati was on like a good solid like premier left guard. It comes at a premium, you know. So it's just like interesting that we chose to actually invest a lot of money into the left side of the line there. I'm glad we did, but as long as it fucking pays off, right? So when Upati hit the ground, he had already been injured during training camp, not preseason, but then at the beginning of the season, you know, he wasn't starting right away. So then it was like he came in a couple games with us. In all honesty, I don't think that he really was blowing anybody's minds. I mean, maybe he did have an impact on, like, you know, Chris Johnson was breaking out for so many, like, nice runs. But I don't know how I don't think he was that great in pass protection. But, so it's just like, you know, he is what he is, but he's got to be better than freaking Bradley Sowell. So, like, that, when he went down, I was just so angry. And I remember saying on Twitter, like, hey, thanks, bye Mike, thanks for the couple games that you played with us. You know, it was like an instant reaction, and of course, like, the Twitter fairies are like, bro, stop, man. Thoughts and prayers to his family. It's like, I know he's got a family. I know he's a human being, and he gets injured. But at this moment in time, like, I'm thinking about the Arizona Cardinals football organization and contrasting that with my hopes and dreams, like the way that
Wait a minute, I gotta react to that. At the moment that there was like an ambulance rolling on the field to load one of our players up, I was not thinking about the Cardinals season.
This is not during that moment, okay? When the injury like started like, you know, compounding and looking like, oh shit. I'm just saying that the moment that he was down and wasn't like popping right back up, you know, I see when it looked like you weren't aware that he had like a spine injury. You thought he was just gonna get pulled out of the game. Well, I thought, even like a torn freaking like ACL or something.
Okay,
like
I
something
see.
that's,
Okay, I
like,
see. I see what you're
super
saying.
painful.
Yeah,
but at
you
the
know
same
what?
time, it's not.
I'll agree with that. I felt the same way right at first. I was like, "Oh shit, did we just lose you, Potty? Come on, man, not again. No more of this nonsense." And then
Yeah, 'cause
after a
it's
few
like,
minutes, he's not getting up, and they're not bringing the cart out,
dude, yeah,
and
and
there's
the
like
depression just
paramedics and
starts
shit
kicking
rolling
in
up
more.
on him.
The depression just starts kicking in more because my initial reaction's like, we got so much money tied up in this guy. We need to have this run game. He's got to be a factor as to why we have one this season versus others, and we're gonna lose him. I mean, he's not jumping right up, so I'm just like, he tore some shit in his leg, and like, fuck, man, there goes our fucking season. Like, our O-line's gonna be porous. Now Carson's gonna get injured the next time we play like the Rams or the freaking Seahawks, So that was my initial reaction. Now, of course, when it was like, dude's not moving, dude's not getting up, then it was like, I straight up deactivated Twitter because people were like not really coming at me. They're like, stop.
Is that why you did that? I was wondering what led you to it.
Kind of. I mean, I was just like so upset by how the game was going that I was like, I need to take a break from caring so much about football for a little bit because it is really getting to me. Like, if the game seemed officiated nicely, the injuries weren't really happening like that. I mean, injuries happen and shit, but like the Cardinals just fucking cursed, man. Like, either we get a shitty person there that never gets injured, so the backup never gets a chance to shine, or we get somebody who's awesome and then they get injured before they complete a whole season. So, but just to kind of cap this off, we've kind of been rambling about that. Even
yeah, you have.
We're so fucking glad that this dude's gonna be okay, and he looks like he might even be playing against the Bengals this coming weekend. So that is awesome. Glad that it wasn't as serious. Glad that they took the needed precautions. Just wanted to explain myself if there was anybody thinking that
you were an insensitive dick.
Like I'm an insensitive dick. No, my initial thought was, oh, my team got fucked for the season. I hate everybody right now. Mike, I don't hate Mike, but I hate that he got injured. So anyway.
So okay, it's my turn to talk a little bit. We've already talked about you, Potty. I want to just talk about the fact that if you talk to Seahawks fans, they believe that the game was stolen from them by the officials. They believe that the game was officiated poorly, but from the other side, that if it had been a fair called game, that they would have won. That's how they see.
Goddamn points on them, and then there was that missed safety call.
Right. Like, when there was an IG, there was a straight up intentional grounding from the end zone. The ball was like 3 or 4 yards short of the line of scrimmage. It was nowhere near the line of scrimmage, and they said that it was at or around the line of scrimmage, so they didn't call the intentional grounding, which would have been a safety. So you got that one. You got and there was one other thing that should have been a safety. I don't remember. It was the guy coming out of the end zone, and they downed it at the 1 instead of back in the end zone. Yeah. And that one was iffy. But the point is that we ended up getting a damn safety. It just took 3 tries.
And then there was like that one running drive we did where Bruce had to pull the challenge flag twice in a row, and he won the first one, and like.
He had to challenge the Floyd touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. And he challenged a Floyd touchdown, and then the second one that he challenged on the same drive. No, there's the next play. He fucking pulls the challenge flag out again, and everybody looking at it was like, "Yeah, he did actually break the first down line," but the refs and then the refs didn't call it that way, so they're like, "We're done having this guy challenge everything," and like that sucked too because I'm like, their calls have been horrible. And on
the fourth down, you mean? When Seattle went for it on 4th down, and their back, that I don't remember his name, like Tukafu or something like that. Their big huge back ran straight into the pile and got like brick walled. He did not. I honestly don't think that was a first down. But the point is, they called it a first down on the field, and there wasn't. You can't see where the ball is inside the pile, so you can't overturn it. I learned this about officiating. When a play is reviewed and the official says the ruling on the field stands, that's different than the ruling on the field is confirmed. Ruling on the field stands mean that there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. Ruling on the field confirmed mean there was evidence and it proved them right.
Did somebody seriously just learn something on this podcast? Because that would be me.
I know, right? So there you go. The difference in stands and confirmed. Okay.
That's why you guys turn the dial to this station.
You guys have dials on your computers. Have an
Dial
old
up.
computer with a UHF dial. We're on U62, managed by George Newman. 10 points if you get that reference. And 10 points if you recognize any of this music that I'm not supposed to mention.
It's UHF. Give me my goddamn points. I'm dying to talk about last weekend. Are you going to give me just like a minute or two, or just not even? Can I at least just?
We're
say
getting
ha-ha?
there. We're getting there. You'll get an opportunity. First, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Rams. I'm sorry, they're not that yet. The St. Louis Rams.
We're supposed to say the Cardinals won 39-32. Now they're currently ranked number 3 in both offense, total yards, and defense, total yards allowed. Congratulations, boys. 7-2. We're going to beat that bitch-ass Cincinnati. We'll get more into that.
We're going to turn the Red Rifle into a Red Ryder BB gun.
JJ.
St. Louis lost. What'd you think of that?
The same thing I always think, Kairi.
Try to take over the NFC West.
Well, kind of, but my picks haven't been bad. I definitely shot for a lot of underdogs last week, and it kind of paid off. It's just kind of funny that I went with like the Eagles
and like, the underdog, dude.
A couple other teams that were surprising. Oh, and I went with the Packers over the Lions, even though I mentioned earlier I was going to ride the goddamn Lions out all fucking season. And then the week that I forgot to do it, I'm the only person who can't say I didn't call. Well, not the only person, but I'm the only person who could have said that I called it. Anyway, so I've been actually saying nice things about the Bears all season long, and you guys have fucking go back. I've been saying it. I've been saying they got underrated because they got blown the shit out by an amazing Cardinals team. Then Jay Cutler got injured, and what the hell did you expect to happen after that? So now everybody's like, "Oh my God, Cutler's he's playing decent football. Who would have expected this?" I don't know, me.
Do you know what I said about the Bears?
So who the hell picks a third game in the preseason like it's bullshit?
That's what I said about the Bears.
You didn't say that.
That was me saying that. That's a recording of me at a post-game presser. All right, San Francisco had a bye this week. I think they still got charged with a loss, though. I don't know.
They've also been playing up a little bit.
Green Bay lost again to the Lions, as you know. That puts Minnesota first in the division.
You can't just say it like that, though. You got to look into this. The Lions haven't. These are the division rivals. They play them every single year in Lambeau. The Lions haven't managed to win in Lambeau
since 91.
1991, dude. Deion Sanders for whoever Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. Wait. No, it's Barry Bonds. Yeah, Barry Sanders' third fucking year in the league. And, like, dude, the Packers opened 6-0.
I remember.
Like, everybody's like, they're going to be a number 2 spot until they lose. And what did I keep saying the whole time? I'm like, guys, they're not as good as you think they are. They're just winning a couple games. But watch, like, their defense is keeping them in these games. As soon as anything
but when you honestly, dude, when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, you always have a shot at every game if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. Always. No matter what else is going on in the field, as long as you're starting Aaron Rodgers, you got a shot.
I just see that when, like, Jordy Nelson went down, like, they're going to have trouble this season. And they had, like, that James Jones guy that was, like, playing miraculously above his abilities and everything. And, like, I think that the law of averages is finally catching up with some of that. And bigger than I had expected. I mean, them being held to 77, Aaron Rodgers held to 77 passing yards or whatever against the Broncos.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Who the hell saw that coming?
But you could say it was in Denver. Caught him off guard, wasn't used to this style of pass rush, whatever. They had their number. You know, you can say they had their number.
You can't say that about this Lions game, though.
Then you can say the Carolina thing. But the Lions, there's no excuse, dude.
No.
That's just, like, honestly, how Green Bay doesn't just get, like, right now just, like, ripped out of the top 10. Because, like, that Green Bay Lions game was a literal, like, I know we joke about this, but it was literal, like, take a second mortgage on your house and put it all on Green Bay. Because, like, Aaron Rodgers had never lost 2 games in a row before. They'd never fucking lost to the Lions since, like, Brett Favre was, like, 50. And, like, that game it's a no-brainer, dude, that in Lambeau they're going to just shred the fucking Lions apart. It's just unbelievable, like, this losing streak they're on to everybody else. I would have never. Okay, I know. I'm excited about underdogs winning, bro.
All right. How about this? How about this, Lutz? This is what I want to know from you. Is it time to quit pretending like Carolina hasn't played anybody decent and can't beat a good team. Can we stop saying the bullshit that you love to say every week and admit that
Well,
Carolina is a legit team this year?
I mean, they're going to get exposed on offense eventually.
On offense,
They're
you think
number
they're weak
7.
on offense?
Okay. All right. Cardinals are number 3, both offense and defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers are number 17 in offense and number 10 in defense. And you know me, I'm not like typically, I get mad when people throw stats around because I'm like, what's the score? What's the record? You and I both know that the Cardinals put up a lot of yards and then love to turn the fucking ball over. So it can be really misleading when you keep giving Seattle the ball on our fucking goal line. You know?
Right.
Yeah, they're not racking up a lot of yards, but they're like, but anyway, so I still maintain like that Green Bay team just lost to the fucking Lions, dude. Like, I think Carolina has really been like fortunate to take advantage of like shitty situation teams have been in. When they played Seattle, there was no Bobby Wagner wasn't in that game, dude. Do you know how like mega of a fucking missing piece that is to that damn team? Bobby fucking Wagner, dude, wasn't playing. It was Marshawn Lynch's first game back after injury. Wasn't 100%. You could tell. Cam Chancellor couldn't communicate with Richard Sherman because the fucker was weeks behind everybody because he just came back on the team too. So these teams were weak when Carolina played them. They didn't play the Seahawks team that the Cardinals just played. That's what I'm saying. And I think that they have been benefiting from teams being in a bad position and otherwise not playing difficult teams. Dude, the Titans, I know that the final score was 27-10, but the Titans hung the fuck in there with them for most of that game. I mean, yeah, they wore down, and like you can't really say that because they ended up losing by 17 damn points.
Okay,
but
here's my question though. My question basically is: Do you believe that come the end of week 17, do you believe Carolina will still be in that number 1 spot?
Possibly. I mean, I think who else do they have? Like the Falcons. I mean, they play in that division, so like, there's a couple teams like. You could see maybe the Saints or the Falcons surprising them or something. Or, fuck, dude, even the Buccaneers at this point. Beating the goddamn Cowboys. Oh, God, all of these games are so great. But I'm just saying, like, they may walk into the playoffs. They might walk in undefeated. Is that, like, I mean...
Okay, here, no, I'm listen, I'm about to give you their schedule right now. They got the Skins next week.
Dude,
in Carolina.
That game might be the fucking one, man.
I know that Washington just hung freaking 40 and change on New Orleans.
You can score all day long on New Orleans, but it's like Washington.
But okay, let me finish telling you what they got. Then they're going to Dallas, and then they're going to New Orleans, then they're at home against Atlanta, then they're going to New York Giants, then they're going to Atlanta, and they're finishing the season against the Bucs. They have an easy stretch ahead of them. I see the Washington one is a possible loss because Washington just played a really great game and might be coming off strong with that momentum. The Giants in New York, possible loss there for Carolina. I think they beat the Cowboys and Saints. I think they beat the Falcons in Carolina and probably beat the Falcons at home or in Atlanta, and I think they beat Tampa Bay. So of these last games, I see them losing 2. I see them finishing 14-2. Is that enough to hang on to the number 1 seed? Probably, yes.
Probably. I don't know what the tiebreaker situation's like there, but I don't know. I'm just saying that the Cardinals are going to just spank them, dude, in the playoffs. Like, I firmly believe
if the Cardinals run the table and the Panthers finish the schedule of the season like I said, and that'll put both us and the Panthers at 14-2, we will have the tiebreaker though because they will have lost 2 NFC games and we will only have lost 1 to St. Louis. So of course we'd have to run the table and the season would have to play out exactly like I'm describing for that to even matter. But
there's a lot of season left, man. There's injuries that are possible.
I know.
They might just get exposed.
I know that's true.
Like,
all right, we got to move on. There's one really
we gotta talk about Peyton. Let me say a word on Peyton Manning. Peyton, please fucking retire, dude. Like, this is bullshit what you're doing now. Like, you had such a nice image. You're so fucking commercial friendly, so marketable. But now that people see that you're simply going to focus on your own stat records over your team's chance of winning, in this day and age, like, that's not just going to go into like a binder of like paperback or, like a hard volume book and some shelf. like there's a strong residual memory of all of these things with media the way it works today, man. People aren't going to forget that this is how you did it. They're not going to forget that the game that you set that record in, and you beat Brett Favre's total passing record, that you got benched because you completed 5 passes and also completed 4 interceptions and scored 0 fucking points. Your team had 0 points on offense when you made that record and got benched. Nobody's going to forget that shit, man. And then to come out of the game and say that you had some fucking mystery injury again, just like you did when you fucking shit the bed against the Colts in the fucking playoffs last year. All of a sudden, Peyton Manning's been secretly injured the whole time. Yeah, you're injured because you're fucking a million years old, dude. You're not Tom Brady. Just hang it up, bro. You got your record. Please, I'm begging you. I know you're a big listener of this podcast, big fan. Just hang it up. Okay. And
hook me up with some free Papa John's pizzas too, please.
Yeah, dude, and some chicken parm because everybody's talking. Oh god, so stupid.
What?
Okay, and also I want to say, fuck the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I hate Dez Bryant more than I hate Greg Hardy because everybody hates Greg Hardy, so I don't need to extra hate him. But some people like Dez Bryant. They like his flair and his attitude, even though he beat up his mother. You know, the guy's such a douchebag. He missed that fucking critical catch, and then they lost to the Buccaneers to lose 7 in a row. If you cannot manage to beat any of those teams in that 7-game stretch without your starting quarterback, you are a bad team. And Dez Bryant, you're a little bitch, and I hope that it shows what happens when you don't have your starting quarterback so that nobody ever again gets confused whether or not Larry Fitzgerald is like the best wide receiver in the league right now in terms of his entire tenure and career, despite having that lull. I think I got it all out of my system. Am I missing anything? I don't want to talk about the Giants-Patriots game. I was at the sports bar with my wife. She freaking is a Giants fan. And, like,
oh, God.
That was so – because, like, they won the game. And, you know what I'm saying? The Giants won the game. And we were sitting there, like, essentially celebrating like they won. And, like, when they started throwing – with like a minute and change left on the clock when they're at the goal line, the Giants were, so that the clock would stop. I'm just like, don't do this again, Tom. Tom Coughlin, please don't fucking do this again, man. They did it again. All right, let's get out of here now.
Okay, so interesting stat that I noticed that nobody else noticed. T.J. Yates has led the Houston Texans to victory over Cincinnati 3 times. The Texans have beaten the Bengals with T.J. Yates as their quarterback. The first time was the game that clinched a playoff berth for Houston. The very first time they ever went to the playoffs, T.J. Yates clinched that berth with a victory over the Bengals. And then, as you may remember, a few weeks later, they met the Bengals again in the wild card round of the playoffs with 6th-round pick rookie T.J. Yates taking on 3rd-round pick rookie Andy Dalton. And T.J. Yates and the Texans beat the Bengals and then went on to lose in the divisional round against the Baltimore Ravens. I actually wrote a really, really interesting article about that nobody ever read, but it was titled "A Tough Road for the Texans," and it detailed like their whole history about all and like how T.J. Yates had to get him into the playoffs, and Matt Schaub got hurt, and then Matt Leinart, the backup, got hurt. You guys know him. And then anyways, so here it is. The final time, of course, is just now when T.J. Yates led the Texans to a victory over the Bengals to end the Bengals' unbeaten streak. So it's just really interesting that when T.J. Yates is playing for, like, if I was in charge of the Texans, every time we're going to play Cincinnati, I would go sign T.J. Yates if he wasn't already on my team.
Why didn't they just start him anyway? Why did they have Brian freaking Flamer even attempt to play that game?
Brian Hoyer, the Destroyer.
Dude, he destroys seasons for the team he starts.
You know what? T.J. Yates ain't that great, dude. Yater's gonna Yate, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that I would have started Yates over Hoyer in that game. I think that's crazy talk.
But just knowing the history, it's just kind of amusing, you know, like a little coincidental that Yates comes in and then does get that fucking touchdown to seal the game.
Yep.
Although the Texans defense, of course, had a little bit to do with it. Just a little bit.
Well, sure. And anyways, so.
But what's up with the Bengals offense? Like, anemic as fuck, man. There is like. That's a legitimate curse. Like, people talk about that like a meme all the time with Andy Dalton playing in primetime and shit. Just look at it, bro. And they open a 8-0, and now they lost that fucking game to the Texans and scored 6 whole points.
6 goddamn points.
What do you think that did to the conversation to them in the postseason? People were putting them in the Super Bowl before that game. Just one game like that, I swear to God, anybody who like has a sense for the NFL just had their gut check on that. They're like, okay, they're the Bengals still.
The Bungles. All right. So, Brock Osweiler came out. I thought that was awesome. You guys all should know Brock Osweiler from his days at Arizona State, playing under Coach Dennis Erickson. And Brock Osweiler, I was excited to see him get to play, and he'll be starting next week. I'm actually really interested in seeing how he does. They got who does Denver's going to Chicago next week? Brock Osweiler has to play at Soldier Field. That should be a pretty fun game.
It's a cool venue. I hope he fucking wins, dude. Because like honestly, if Denver comes away with a win and you can put like a good chunk of the win on the offense, can you see them still putting Peyton out there? I mean, does Peyton like? I know he's Peyton Manning, but
that's what I was gonna say. He is Peyton Manning, dude. It's like
Bruce Arians, I don't know if he does that shit, but that'd be like a whiz and hunt thing to do. Be like, well, I know Peyton was on this fucking losing streak and keeps like pretending he's injured because he doesn't want to say, guys, I just don't got it anymore.
Bruce Arians would not do that shit. Bruce Arians would put the guy out there that is gonna win the game, not Peyton Manning. If that guy. Go on.
He did put Bobby Massey out over what, Earl Watford?
I don't know. That's a good point. Okay, we got to move on. We're running way the frick over on time, so let's talk about the upcoming game. Cincinnati did just lose, but I feel like that might put like the old chip on their shoulder, which will make them want. They probably know that people.
That's another primetime game on a short week. There's no way they're walking into fucking UFP and stealing this game from the Cardinals after they just beat the Seahawks, knowing that they have no wiggle room, so they can't lose any more games.
Okay. The next question I want to talk about.
And also they still, because they kept Seattle under fucking 500, they technically still haven't beaten a winning team yet. Keep that in mind.
And you want to know something else about. Okay.
they want to win because of that alone too. But
and you know what? The damn final score of the Seattle game is very deceiving because 14 of those points were gimmies. All right, you want to talk about bad luck or whatever? We gave up 2 fumbles right there, and one of them got immediately turned into a touchdown. The next one got turned in on like the next play. So the point is that 14 of those 32 points were given to them, and I don't care. You can say, oh, they forced the fumble or whatever, but you know what? Quarterbacks get sacked all the time without fumbling, and it was just bad fortune that put things the way that they did, where they could return the. I don't care. Whatever. Move on. We won the game. Good deal. Okay, Lutz. This season, are you aware? This is Michael Floyd's last year of his contract. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'm actually very much aware of that.
Do you think that Floyd just had himself a monster game? That just drove up his price. Michael Floyd might have been like a cheap discount value wide receiver for us to re-sign. That's not the case anymore. Michael Floyd might end up walking at the end of this year because what do we care, dude? John Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, J.J. Nelson.
It's not, the money ain't there. I mean, that's all I can say about it,
So you think this is Floyd's last ride with Arizona?
Yeah. He always has felt like a slight outsider to me anyway in a receiving core, because it's like he'll break off for a big game like on his own, just like once every couple games, like once every 4 or 5 games, like Michael Floyd will have 2 touchdowns.
I'll give you that. I never looked at Michael Floyd even to the as being a part of the team, part of like the community, even as much as I would have looked at like Steve Breston. Steve Breston is in my mind a Cardinal wide receiver. Michael Floyd, it might as well be like how we had Rashard Mendenhall for a season, Yeah,
it might as well be his first season in Arizona. The way that he like feels like part of the state and the team culture. While we're talking about our players, so anyway, I don't care if he walks. Free more salary cap room. Bring in some other guys. Bring in a goddamn cornerback. Because leads me to my next rant. I don't like Gerard Powers still to this day. I know I've mentioned this before. My sentiments have not changed, and I don't think they are ever going to. because he's just Gerard Powers, man. You saw him starting to get exposed. Like, that was really what took Seattle down the field on Sunday. It's like fucking Doug Baldwin, like, hauling catches over you. You're a disgrace, man. Doug Baldwin is the same guy that got fined for a touchdown celebration involving him miming a shitting of the football out. Dude, in like a playoff game too, like squats down and like pretends he shits out the football. Like, I don't know, dude, cool. I guess when you get your first touchdown, you get excited. I don't know, but yeah, Gerard Powers to me is just such a liability. He always was. He looked decent in like the first half of last season, and then started powering out. But we still had Cromartie there, so I think we're going to get exposed on some of the teams that are really able to lob. I mean, Chicago was marching straight the fuck down on us, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't you say Jay Cutler's probably the highest caliber quarterback that we've faced so far? And like, even Russell Wilson was like,
Drew Brees.
Well, no, we did face Drew Brees. Okay, Drew Brees, but I don't know. That was a weird ass like Saints moment for them. But anyway,
Yeah.
Not happy with him. And also, before we jump to the next thing, I just want to point out Andre Ellington. I still don't like him very much. I obviously have to like put a caveat on that. Because he's great for the gadget plays, dude. He is a gadget player, and as long as he's looked at in that capacity, I like the guy.
Dude, obviously, the Cardinals front office agrees with you because they brought in Chris Johnson in the offseason. If you believe that Andre Ellington and David Johnson are your guys, you don't go get Chris Johnson.
It's because he gets hurt all the time because they treated him like an every down back, like a north and south back. And he just runs in there and gets fucking squeezed and squished and crushed, man, like the little fucking dude he is. He's like a Sproles, man. He's like a gadget player. He's sitting on the side with like a fucking drop, like play like that. And he like zips down and wins the game for you. Like, he'll have your one big play. And that's pretty much all you should call on him for. That one pass when he was like, he cut into the middle of the field. And, like, he stopped, and Palmer was obviously fucking leading him, because he's like, hey, dude, you're fast. Just keep running, and the ball will end up in your hands. And Ellington stopped, and the ball sails way in front of him. That type of shit, dude. And then, like, he still makes those mistakes where he fucking doesn't run out of bounds, or he does run out of bounds when he shouldn't, like, when they're in, like, a 2-minute drill and shit like that. The Arians knows that, and it's funny because Ellington even mentions that shit when we talk to him. So, like, I'm glad Chris Johnson was there. It's kind of shitty he didn't really get shit going that much, but at the same time, we found other ways to win the game. So those are my Cardinals players that I'm putting the hot seat on, but I think we're figuring out how to use Ellington effectively. Powers, I don't think I don't know, maybe in like fucking nickel packages or something, dude, but I don't like the fact that he's like a starting cornerback.
Okay, I'm about to interrupt you.
Go.
I'm trying.
Lutz Locks.
There it goes. Boy, it took a minute. I'm playing the Lutz Locks sounder, and
Lutz Locks.
It was taking a while. So, anyways, guys, I want to offer you a disclaimer. Remember that when it comes to Lutz Locks, we're not giving you gambling advice. We're not like telling you what you should bet your money on. This isn't about gambling, okay? Lutz Locks is about telling you what's going to happen, okay? Lutz Locks is about magic. Because Lutz is a wizard, and he can see into the future, and he's going to tell you what's going to happen this upcoming week. And we're going to start with hang on, let me get the sounder ready.
Who gives a shit ball?
Which is going to be Tennessee at Jacksonville.
I have called on the oracle of the Gators, and it has revealed to me that Jacksonville shall be pronounced victorious.
That's probably true, old man, but you need to speak up a little bit. Oakland
I have called upon the oracle of the Gators, and it said Jacksonville shall be victorious.
Oakland at Detroit.
An angel came upon me and said that Oakland was going to walk away as the victor.
Oh, wow. Okay. Indy at Atlanta.
Give me the Falcons.
Falcons are mythical birds, I understand.
Yes, they are.
This is a good one. St. Louis is heading over to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Who wins that one?
Well, I I once cast a spell involving a raven, but it also used ram testicles, so I'm torn on this one, but give me those birds.
That makes sense because if the Ram doesn't have any balls, he's probably not going to put up much of a fight.
I'm Ron Burgundy the Wizard.
Tampa Bay at Philly.
Well, the eagle is the sign of auspice and great valor, and that makes me feel like the Buccaneer is the sign for the weekend. Yes, it is.
Brock Osweiler and the Broncos at the Chicago.
Well, let me think about this. Let me call upon the earth sign spirits of the north and regale unto me the words that I must say to you. And that is, Jay Cutler, pronounce the victor.
No, you sound like Nostalgia Critic doing an impression of Christopher Lloyd.
Man, you put me on the spot with this, dude. I'm just like, I'm faking some shit over here.
New York Jets at Houston Texans.
This is an interesting defensive matchup, but you must ask yourself what would win in a fight. Would it be the Jets or Texans? I would put my money on the Jets, but don't gamble. It's illegal in most states.
Washington. So you're picking the Jets, I assume? I can't really figure out what.
Yeah, the Jets. I picked the Jets. Read my words, understand my wisdom.
The cards don't lie. All right, we'll do that next week.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
What, the cards don't lie?
You already did it better than I was doing. First attempt.
Okay. Washington Redskins and Carolina to take on the Cam Newtons.
Well, I'm going to pick the Redskins.
I hope so. Okay.
I could use a good stout in my potion.
Dallas Cowboy Mavericks going to Miami to take on the Dolphin Marlins.
Listen, cowboy, I need your finest potion. Only your finest potion will do.
Get to the fucking point.
You don't have a potion, well the Dolphins shall rue you.
Okay, Kansas City at Charger.
Well, let's see, dude. Let's see, dude. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs shall emerge victorious.
Green Bay Packers at Minnesota Vikings. Ooh, that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
That is a good one, but you know what I would say a Viking would do with a handful of cheese? He'd eat it.
I would imagine so. He'd pillage the shit out of that. Okay, here we go. And not only do I want to know who is going to win this, I want to know who you hope wins this one. San Francisco at Seattle.
I don't have hopes. I only have prophecies of true futures that shall take place. Give me the Niners.
Oh boy. Okay. Buffalo Bills heading to New England to take on the Patriots.
Speaking of games that I want to see a certain thing happen, I think that a Bill would kick the living shit out of a Brady. So give me those whatever Buffaloes or guys named Bill.
Guys, the Buffalo guys named Bill. Everyone on the team is named William. All
Man,
right.
I think this is our pilot for like the wizard fucking forecasting. I think we're gonna get canceled.
And finally, the last game.
There's more?
No, there's one more that you have to call. Cincinnati Bengals at Arizona Cardinals. Final score.
Oh, I forgot. Wait, you do a wizard right now. Yours was way better. How about I'm gonna ask you, Kairi? We got the Bengals coming out to Arizona on a freaking Sunday night heated matchup. Arizona coming off a win, Bengals coming off a grueling loss. Who do you got?
I have my magical music playing. I believe that the Arizona Cardinals will win 28-17.
You have just fied the birds and cursed them with your insolence. Do a goddamn fucking sorcerer, dude. You're just so badass.
Oh, sorcerer. Oh, shit.
Yes.
I can't. I don't have a sorcerer ready right now. I'd have to practice
Bro, that one, like, looking at the cards, you're like, is it the cards, see?
No, it was a Jamaican. It was Miss Cleo.
Dude, you're Miss Cleo.
The cards don't lie, Lord have mercy. Dude, it was Miss Cleo, dude. And when I say the cards, I'm talking about the Cardinals. We don't lie. We're honest.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do Miss Cleo next week. I'm gonna work
You're
on it
gonna
all
do
week,
Miss
guys.
Cleo? That's awful.
Dude, cards don't lie.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us this week. Be sure to join us for more Cardinals time next week. We'll have 17
guys-
stats.
Give us some direction or feedback.
Yeah,
I feel
seriously,
really,
dicks. You guys
come
watch
on.
this shit every week, and it would be nice for you to tell us what you like, what you don't like, if I should ditch Lutz and hire a hot chick in his place.
Yeah, Bill John, you were like, oh god damn it, sunglasses guy. And that could be interpreted a couple different ways, because I was pissed that that guy took my headset too and made all those picks.
Fucking
He got
sunglasses.
some of them right. I got all of them right. He got some of them right.
Fucking
But
sunglasses.
yeah,
guy.
was that? Are we stupid for some of this shit? Just let us know, man. We don't want to make stuff you guys don't want to listen to.
If you want, yeah, if you want, we can give you really, really boring podcasts where all you hear are people saying things like,
It's Cardinals time.
It's Cardinals time.
all right. Okay, I gotta go before I start coughing and shit. Bye.
We got we're number 3 on the stat projection.
Oh god.
Oh wait, actually, are we still on right now?
Yeah.
There is one cool Bird Gang podcast called the British Bird Gang. They also upload to YouTube.
If we're going to be plugging other podcasts, the first one is Arizona Birdwatchers featuring my friend Troy Drow. I think his name is Troy D. Rowe, but I call him Troy Drow.
You're a bad sorcerer because I clearly remember me saying mine before you said yours. So the first one you guys heard was, I guess, Google British Bird Gang. It's really cool because they're from, Britain. And they got the accents and just hearing the international.
Oh, they're going to be so much better at doing wizard voices than we are with their British accents, dude.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is they're actually really informative and they take it a lot more seriously than we do. So, if you guys want some real information about the team, check out British Bird Gang. If you want to hear people who obviously flunked out of theater, then check us out.
Cards don't lie. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
Cardinal time.